Good morning, students. This lecture is for MSc Botany Semester 3 students for the paper Taxonomy of Angiosperms, and this lecture will come under Unit 4 of syllabus of Kota University. So, in this unit, we will discuss today family Asteraceae, which comes under order Asteraceae. Here are some general characters of order Asteraceae. Plants are herbaceous to woody. They are rarely trees. Leaves alternate, opposite, or all radical. They are ex-stipulate. Flowers collected into heads surrounded by an involucre of bracts. They are rarely compound heads. Outer flowers either ligulate or and female, rarely sterile, but sometimes they are sterile. The inner flowers tubular and bisexual, or all the ligulate and bisexual. Anthers united into a tube, filaments free. This arrangement is called syngenaceous. When anther lobes are united into a tube and filaments free. Inserted on the corolla tube, ovary inferior, one locular, style mostly bilobed, ovule 1 erect. Fruit an achene, usually crowded by a pappus, that is modified calyx. Worldwide in distribution. According to Hutchinson, the order includes a single family, Compositae, which will be discussed here. Compositae or sunflower family. Compositae is the largest family of the flowering plants. In India, the family is represented by about 700 species. Salient features of the family. Plants generally herbs, leaves alternate or opposite, axis-stipulate, as we said earlier, simple or variously lobed and divided. Inflorescence is head, which is capitulum with an involucre of bracts. Flowers bisexual or unisexual, epigynous, usually of two types. Flowers are usually of two types. The central disc florets are actinomorphic and the peripheral or ray florets are zygomorphic. Calyx modified into pappus. Corolla 5-lobed, tubular or ligulate. Tubular in disc florets, ligulate in ray florets. Stamens 5, syngenaceous, we discussed earlier, epipetalous, gynoecium bicarpellary, syncarpous, unilocular, inferior, ovule 1, basal placentation, style 1 with bifid curled stigmas, whose receptive surface is on the inside. Fruit a one-seeded sepsella, crowned with pappus. Seeds filled the fruit, large straight embryo without much endosperm or non-endospermic. Now, distribution of the family. The plants are widely distributed and cosmopolitan, occurring in almost all habitats. They are most abundant in the tropical and temperate lands, but are also found in the Arctic and alpine regions. Apart from mesophytes, which is majority of the plants, some occur as xerophytes, aquatic or marsh plants, and epiphytes also. In India, the plants occur in all possible climates and places, but are less common in the areas under rainforests. They grow both in hills and plains and play an important role in the vegetation. Indian representatives. Ageratum artemisia, this is medicinal plant. Vernonia, inula, blumia, Helianthus eclipta, Tagetes, Calendula, Soncus, Tehelia, Zinnia, Nephelium, Xanthium, Pania, Zerbera, Lactopus. etc. and many more. General habit. General habit of the plants of the family. Majority of the plants are herbs, annual, example Ailanthus, Lactuca, Calendula. Many of them are ornamental plants or perennial. Some are shrubs, Vernonia, Inula, etc. A few are herbaceous, Mecania or woody, Senecio, climbers, rarely trees, that is Vernonia arborea and Leucomeris. These are exceptionally tree plants having tree habits. Vernonia arborea and Leucomeris. The genus Senecio with about 1500 species alone exhibits all possible habits from herb to a middle-sized tree. Many of them are xerophytes and hydrophytes with characteristic adaptations. Now, range of vegetative characters. Normally taproot, much branched, roots are much branched, fibrous, sometimes growing deep into the soil, especially in xerophytic habits, in xerophytic plants. Tuberous adventitious roots, rich in inulin, are found in Dahlia, and Helianthus tuberosus. In Taxicum and Chichorium, the tap roots are thickened like that of carrot. Stem aerial, erect, sometimes underground and tuberous. Tuberous in Helianthus tuberosus. Rarely prostrate or climbing in Mecania. Herbaceous, maybe woody below, usually hairy with latex, solid, sometimes hollow, usually branched, rarely unbranched. Reduced in young plants like Somcus, spinous like in Carthamus, winged like in Onopodum. Now leaves. Leaves radical, young plants of these Zerbera, Somcus, etc. Colline and remal in most of the cases. Exstipulate, absent. Petiolate, Helianthus or sessile Xenia. Alternate in Vernonia or opposite in Xenia, Dahlia. These are varieties in leaves. Reduced to scales, Odontosperma. Modified into spines in Holophyllum. Simple, entire in Nephalium, Calendula. Dentate in Helianthus. Pinnately in Somcus and Lonia. Finally dissected in Artemisia. Often oil ducts present, variegated and studded with yellow spines in Silybum marianum. In Corymbium, the leaves are narrow and parallel veined. This is exception, narrow and parallel veined in Corymbium. Now, this was range of vegetative characters. Now, range of floral characters. Inflorescence racemose. Flowers aggregated together in head or capitulum surrounded by involucre or whorled bracts. Involucre of whorled bracts. The heads may be solitary, terminal or axillary arranged in racemes, corymbs, or compound heads. The involucral bracts may be indefinite in number, sometimes fewer and arranged spirally. Leafy or scaly. Receptacle is disc-like, conical or cylindrical, bearing few or large number of flowers, large number of sessile flowers, which may be of two types. In most cases, it is of two types, the outer ray and the inner disc florets, or of one type only, like in ageratum. Each floret accompanied by floral bracts. Rarely the bracts are absent, that is in calendula. The flower arrangement on the receptacle in a head can be categorized as a radiate head, where the outer ray florets on the fringe of the receptacle inside the involucre are ligulate and zygomorphic, while the rest of the florets, that is disc florets, are all actinomorphic. Example, helianthus. And B, ligulate head. All the flowers are ligulate, zygomorphic, and there is no distinction between the ray and disc florets. Example, Sonchus. And C, discoid head. All the flowers are tubular and actinomorphic. Example, ageratum. So, when all the flowers are of the same type, the, the head is called this is discoid head, and this is first is what, radiate head. In the capitulum, the ray florets are either female or sterile. The disc florets are usually bisexual, sometimes unisexual. Flowers are usually epigynous and pentamerous. Now we come to sepals or calyx. Sepals absent or reduced to a tuft of persistent scales or hairs called pappus. This is unique feature of Asteraceae. Petals 5, fused, tubular, all the flowers or disc florets, or ligulate or bilabiate in ray florets. Astrivation is volvic. Stamens 5, epipetalous, syngenaceous. Anthers 2-celled, connective, prolonged upward, basifixed. Carpels 2, carpus, ovary inferior, unilocular, with one basal anatropous and ascending ovule. Style slender, stigma bifid, recurved and hairy. Fruit a cypsela, achene crowded with a persistent pappus. Seeds non-endospermic, embryo straight, radical, short, cotyledons flat, semicylindrical or involute. Now, the general floral formula: bisexual or unisexual, may be male or female. Calyx 5, free in the form of pappus. We can write pappus here also. Corolla 5, fused. Endochium 5, fused in syngenaceous condition and epipetalous. Ovary inferior and bicarpal. Here we can see inflorescence. Head. This is involucral bract, leafy. These are ray florets. ray florets which are ligulate and with this stigma. These are ray florets and these are disc florets. These are disc florets. These are pappus modified calyx. And this is receptacle. This is bifid stigma. This is ray floret, ligule. This shows the number of corolla here, number of petals here which are fused. Stigma, bifid stigma, long cylinder style. United anthers, corolla tube, pappus, and inferior. This is disc floret. Ovary, pappus, these are corolla and united anthers and stigma style. Stigma is in this tube. VS head of composite diagrammatic. We can see here, we can easily understand the placement of the ray florets and disc florets on the receptacle. And this is peduncle. Now, economic importance of the family. Most of the flowers are of ornamental use. Some of the plants are used medicinally. Artemisia, we stated earlier. This is Sphaeranthus indicus. This is Mundi, is also a good blood purifier. Roots of Taraxacum are used against disorders of bowel and many other medicinal purposes. And some plants are used as food. Roots of roots and leaves of Chincorium envida, leaves of Cyanara and Lactuca sativa, that is lettuce, very popular. Lettuce leaves we use, and ornamental plants we all very well know: aster, chrysanthemum, cosmos, dahlia, gaillardia, jetigia, calendula, daisies, etc. And oil is also obtained from the seeds of Carthamus. Powder from dried flowers of chrysanthemum, cynerifolium, and chrysanthemum are used to make insecticides. The leaf juice of Eclipta is used for tattooing the skin blush back and more. Now, divisions of the family. The family is divided into two subfamilies and 13 tribes. Subfamily Lactobacilli or Liguliflori, latex present, corolla of all florets, ligulate. And this is divided into one family, one tribe only, Chichori or Lactucea, flowers homogamous and third base sagittate. Example, this song. And subfamily Asteroideae. Here latex rare, corolla of disc florets, not ligulate. This is divided into tribe 1, Anthemidae. Here plants aromatic, heads heterogamous, rarely homogamous. In heterogamous head, where ray florets and disc florets are present, and in homogamous, All the flowers are of the same, either reflorets or disflorets. Septical chaffy or not so. Anthers blunt or acute, not tailed, basifixed. Papers absent or reduced to a ring of cup. Eclia chrysanthemum artemisias, etc. Now, type 2, Arcodi, plants not aromatic. In anthemedy, plants aromatic. Here, plants not aromatic. Heads heterogamous. Blunt, pointed at the base. Papers none or not capillary. Gazania. Type 3, Asteridae, plants not aromatic. Heads heterogamous, rarely homogamous, aseptical, not chaffy, anthers blunt and basifix. Papers various. Ester, ericron, etc. Type 4, Calendulae. Example, calendula, plants not aromatic, heads heterogamous. Type 5, Cyanary, plants not aromatic, heads homogamous, but rays may be female or neuter. Example, Carthamus, etc. Type 6, Eupotory, plants not aromatic, heads homogamous. Example, Ageratum, Eupatorium. Type 7, Helene, plants not aromatic, rarely homogamous, means they are mostly heterogamous. Papers not capillary, Gilardia helenium. Helianthi, plants not aromatic, heads heterogamous, mostly heterogamous. Example, Helianthus dehalia, etc., which are very popular aromatic ornamental plants. We all know. Inuli, plants not aromatic, heads homogamous or heterogamous, both we can find in this. Receptacle chaffy or not chaffy, anthers tailed, Nymphalium. Inula, Nymphalium. Mutici, plants not aromatic, homogamous or heterogamous, Zerbera, etc. Senecio, plants not aromatic, heads homogamous or heterogamous, Doronicum, Senecio, etc. And type 12, Veroni, plants not aromatic, heads homogamous, and hesitate blunt, short-tailed. Example, Vernonia. Now, evolutionary correlations of this family. Different authors have ascribed different systematic position to this family. Engler considered Compositae as the last family of dicotyledons, including under the order Campanulae. Bentham placed the family under the order Asteraceae series, inferring the above authors have kept the family after the Rubiaceae. Willis 1966 is of the opinion that the family Compositae is closely related to Godiniaceae, Brunoniaceae, and Campyloniaceae. Taxonomy relates the family with Caliceraceae and other families of Campanulae. Engler and Rendell place the family Compositae as the highest evolved family of dicotyledons based on the following reasons. Preponderance of herbaceous habit, the number of shrubs and trees being extremely limited, the largest number of species, about 10% of the non-dicotyledons, totaling to 20,000 or more, which are cosmopolitan, occurring in abundance all over the world. The admirable arrangement of cross-pollination by the insects is the following. easily accessible nectar, and its protection from the elemental forces of nature like rain, cold, etc. Protection of pollen, inclusion of short lived insect, but not too specialized for every narrow circle of visitors. Prevention of self and chance of cross pollination till last moment, and certainly of self if cross pollination fails. So, next is aggregation of the florets into heads with ligulate margins, marginal florets, which act as flag apparatus for the attraction of insects. The arrangement is suitable for one insect to pollinate all disc florets within a short time. The occurrence of epigynous flowers together with the protandrous and syntenaceous stamens. The occurrence of epigynous flowers together with the protandrous and syntenaceous stamens. The ability of florets to strike self-pollination by brushing system of arrangement coupled with the mechanism in the stigmas for the same purpose. The protection of tender florets, reduction of calyx in the carpel number, together with a single ovule inferior ovary, and the pappus of an individual flower act as a parachute and help in the dispersal of the fruit and seeds. So, so these are the characters which make compositae as the highest evolved family of dicotyledons, according to Rendell, Engler, and Rendell. So this is all about the family Asteraceae. Thank you.